Alright, hello. Please excuse my voice, I'm sick, but I promised to record this video, so we're gonna do it anyway. So this video is a follow-up to a tweet I made that kind of blew up for some reason, talking about like anti-airing cross-ups in Street Fighter 6 and like what a cross-up is, because people got confused pretty fast, a lot of people. So I kind of want to make this video to help clear that up because I know it can be confusing. Because Street Fighter 6 has a some special rules in place that can blur what a cross-up really means. So in the case of, everyone knows what when you jump in, you do a cross-up, right? These are easily called cross-ups. And but there's also when you're anti-airing other players, that's like a cross-up in that, like in like a defensive sense, would mean hitting behind you, right? You're hitting cross-up. You're hitting a cross-up. You're hitting people behind you. I hope that makes sense. Uh, so first thing I want you to look at is if you see my mouse here, we're in the middle of Ken's hurtbox here. There's this white circle. That's his positioning. That's basically where the game reads his positioning to be. And this is, you see Jiri here as well. It's usually directly in the middle of the hurtboxes. And of course, when I do like a DP, Ken's body's gonna shift forward like visually. It's not always like in the middle exactly of like where his body is visually, you know what I mean? So it moves around, right? But it's usually in the middle of the hurtbox. So this is important. I'm gonna do, well, first of all, actually, let me zoom the camera out so you can see the things I'm going to show you here easier. This should probably be good. So I'm gonna have Juri just do a neutral jump, heavy kick. Hits on both sides of her, okay? So that's important for the things I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna turn this on, start replay, load this here. She's jumping now. Now, if I just stand on this side, there's no cross up. But if I go to the other side, she gets a cross up, right? Now, if I want to anti-air this as Ken, I could just do crouching hair punch, I can DP it, whatever. But what happens if I am directly underneath her? And then I go for something. Like, what if I try to crouching hair punch right here? See the problem here now? You see the positioning here at the bottom of the screen where Ken's is, and you see Juri's. You'll notice that Ken has now passed underneath Juri. So now Juri is technically on the other side of Ken, right? And look at the hitbox here on Ken's fist. This is the hitbox he uses to anti-air. It has a text here that says, if you zoom in, I'm sorry if you're on Twitter or something, preferably have this in full screen. It says can't hit backwards, right? That means he can't hit behind him. It's self-explanatory. So right now, even though my hitbox is inside her, it's not going to get registered because she's behind Ken. And this is a pretty universal rule for the most part. There are always exceptions to rules, but for the most part in Street Fighter 6, anti-airs have this flag on them, and most attacks in fact have this flag on them. So they can't hit behind. So when you are trying to anti-air cross-ups, you can't do it like this, like because you're going underneath them, right? Ken's crouching high punch during the startup, he steps forward. So there's a likelihood chance that you're going underneath them during your startup, going to the other side, and at that point you can no longer hit behind you, and you can't hit them, right? So what happens is going to happen here, Juri is just going to continue falling, and then she's going to hit me, and she's going to get her cross-up, right? You saw the cross-up text popped up there. Now what's interesting is if we repeat this, and I go forward for like a little shorter time, and then press crosshair punch, like this is just a few frames of difference. Now I'm still gonna whiff because you can see her positioning and mine, they've already swapped places, right? I'm already on the right side. So it's still gonna whiff. But notice that right now, look at what the text says for Juri on the screen when she hits me. There was no cross-up text. You see on screen that her positioning is clearly on the left side. She clearly crossed me up. Visually, yes, she did. But according to the rules of this game, she didn't cross me up enough. There is an arbitrary distance that you have to go past the opponent's positioning. This is Ken's here. So C has to jump a certain distance past this. There's to be a certain amount of distance between these two here for that to be registered as a cross-up. However, keep in mind, my crouching input still whiffed because C is on the other side of me. C is. The game still uses these white circles to dictate which side you are on. So C still has crossed me up, like position-wise, so I can't anti-air her, but at the same time, C doesn't get a cross-up at this distance. She's still gonna land on the other side, look, on the cross-up side, right? So, I hope that made sense to you. Is it silly? Yeah, it kind of is, but there's more to talk about here. So, I'm gonna give you another example. Let's do replay number 3 for Jerry. So, in this case, I've made her do a setup, like a block string like that, like a block string like this, and then I make her jump, right? It's not a cross-up, you see that. But what if she were to press that one frame later? Here's another replay. Same string, she's pressing it one frame later in the air, and she's getting a cross-up, right? And I explained briefly earlier, why this is happening, but I'm kind of going to show it again, okay? So let's just show this one first where it doesn't cross up, okay? Now, she's gonna start her kick right here. Now, again, look at the white circles. See, at this point, she has crossed me up. You can very clearly see she's crossed me up, and she's about to hit me on the next frame. And also, there's gonna be a big jump on the next frame between the positioning because of the collision boxes are about to hit each other right here. So, and they have to push each other out from each other. So they're going to push outward, she's going to land on the other side, but it's not a real cross-up because at this point, she has not traveled far enough past my positioning to be registered as a cross-up, even though she's on that side. Well, if I play the other replay, it's going to look very, very similar. This is a one frame difference of timing, right? So you visually can't see this in a match. You're not going to be able to, like at regular speed. You have to go frame by frame. And she's about to do it right now. But you can see at this point, see the collision boxes are about to meet. Bam, they pushed each other away. She's very clearly now on the other side. So it's going to be registered as a cross-up. Free. So that's a bit weird, right? Now, I'm just going to 100% prove this for people that are like haven't really looked into this. I'm just going to hold back to block as in not blocking cross-up on Ken, okay? So if you look at my inputs, I'm going to wait a little bit because I don't want to move like too soon, So as soon as she starts up her move, I'm going to hold back now, and it's going to hit at the exact frame. Bam. So I blocked by holding back because it's not a real cross-up. And it doesn't matter which direction I hold, that's always going to happen, right? See? And if I do the other way, the other one that's actually a real cross-up, right? I can't hold back to block. I'm going to do frame by frame. Let's press on the exact same frame. Because she's going to start her thing. I'm now going to hold back. I can't block normally because it's a cross-up. I have to block. Like I have to hold forward, right? To block that. Simple. So it's a bit silly, yes, but this is the difference that matters. Now let's look at this example again. Let me see. This one. So there's a lot of times when you'll be anti-airing, and sometimes when you try to DP from a distance like this, sometimes you'll hit, sometimes you'll go under, and sometimes you'll swear that you hit with a DP, right? But it goes through them, right? Because again, look at the positioning. Look at Candace here at the bottom. Look at Jury's. If you were to draw a line, which I'm not editing, so fuck that. But if you were to imaginary draw a line here, Ken would be slightly in front on the right side. So Ken is officially crossed under them. So you can no longer anti-air because look at the letters of his DP. It says can't hit backwards. Right there, see? Can't hit backwards. So he just phased through her. He can't hit her like that. But if you like slightly alter your timing, like if you just delay a little bit longer, it's gonna hit. If you do it earlier, it's gonna hit. It's like an in-between where from this specific jump distance, it whiffs. Ooh, look, I hit there. I'm not sure if I can get the timing here. Besides, it whiffs because I'm on the other side. But in like specific timings, it can look like they were already crossed over you, but you still hit. It can be visually very deceiving, I know. Oops. See right there? This is kind of hard to tell, but yeah, like sees if you were to look at this in a match, and because this is where the hit stop is, so this is where the freeze happens. So you're like, oh wow, he hit her even though she was behind him, but she's not behind me. Look at the positioning, right? She's still in front, so that's where it hits. It can be very visually deceiving, but that's just how it is in this game. All right, I got it again there. Of course, you could also just, wait as late as you can like that, and let the autocorrect handle it for you. By the way, autocorrect follows the same rule, again with the white dots. It follows the same rule as like when you're trying to enter. As soon as they are just like 1 pixel past your positioning, the move will autocorrect, and that's true for pretty much every move in the game. Most of them have the flag on them to autocorrect themselves if the opponent happens to have just crossed over to the other side. Let me just, I guess I can prove that as well. So let's just input a DP here slowly. Let's just, I think I'll input it here. Okay, at this point, I input that a little bit too early, she hadn't crossed me up yet. So let's try that again. Sorry, I'm just doing this all live, guys. I can't be editing this. It's just for the fucking Twitter thing. Let's do it now. At this point, she's on the other side, and immediately it autocorrects itself, right? And pretty much every move does this. You can do this, it's obviously kind of hard to time this, because you have to do this as late as possible. So this can be very hard, like that. And you can do this with the real cross-up situation as well. I just have to be on point with my timing like that. Of course, it's easier to just do that, just walk forward and then do it. That's what a lot of people call that a cross-cut. Some people, I would also call that a cross-cut. Some people just call it an autocorrect. I don't know. It's whatever, it's semantics, bro. It's always easier to just walk forward and then do it. Now, again, this isn't the case for every move in the game. They don't all have the hitbox. Like, look, pretty much every move has the can't hit backwards text. Just like that, like a jab here. But there are exceptions, right? But usually those exceptions, if they are anti-airs, they have other side effects, or like they have other properties that aren't as strong. So for Ken, for example, his DP is invincible frame 1, like most of the DPs. And those kind of DPs, they can't hit backwards. Like, they all have this flag, the ones that are invincible frame 1. But there are some characters that have specials that aren't invincible frame 1. Like, up at the top of my head, Rashid, Blanca, Aki. And like Rashid and Aki, Rashid's heavy mixer, Aki's heavy whip, they can hit cross up. They don't have this flag, but they're also not invincible frame 1, so you can't do them as late, right? So they have their strengths and weaknesses, okay? And that's all by design. I'm not trying to defend this design. I'm just explaining how it works, because a lot of people seem to get confused by how cross-ups actually work in this game. I hope that helped, and helped explain some things better for you. I'm going to leave some clips here at the end of moves that do actually hit cross-up behind them, because there are a select few. There are not that many though. And sometimes it's weird things, like it could be some super or something that's not really meant to be an anti-air, but they never gave it the flag of not hitting cross-up, right? So you can find it here and there. I'm gonna compile a few of them here at the end, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say. I hope that helped. Cheers.